Well, welcome back, everyone. You know, taking care of our mental and emotional health is just as important as caring for our physical health. Now, one of the best ways that we can do this is by practicing self-care. And Jennifer Truman, a Lima Memorial psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, is here to talk about the importance of self-care and also how we can make it part of our everyday lives. So thank you so much for joining us, Jennifer.
Thanks for the invitation, Chris.
Yeah, my pleasure. So to start off, can you tell us about what self-care really means and also why it's so important for our overall well-being?
So a lot of our days nowadays are spent in this fight or flight mode, and not necessarily because of trauma, but just because we're all so busy and we're trying to accomplished goal after goal. And so we need to give our bodies and our brains permission to rest. And a good way to do that is by self-care. And that's just one way of giving ourselves permission to just be.
Just be. I like that. So what are some practical self-care strategies that people can use to support their mental health daily?
Okay, so I'm going to take the most time to talk about this section, but the first thing I want to bring up is just make it a routine. If we can have a habit of taking care of ourselves and put it in our schedule, block the calendar for that, know that no one can interrupt that time, that's really important. And sometimes it's as simple as just, deep breathing in the car on the drive to work or taking a walk around the block. Another really good way is to make sure that you're fostering those social connections. I read a lot, and I know that if you have like a 6-second kiss or a 20-second hug, that it really releases the oxytocin, which is our love hormone or our love chemical. And in return, then that decreases our stress and our cortisol in our body. And another really good tool is to find some way to be creative. If you can be creative, that puts your mind focusing on something. And in our distracted world, that's really important that we can be able to stay focused on one task for a little bit. And it also then can help reduce stress and improve cognition. And probably the most important thing I want to bring up is that work-life balance. I keep hearing people say that they've become important at work, which you would think is a good thing. But what I'm finding is then that just is work requiring more of them, more time, more energy. And a lot of places are just trying to get as much productivity out of their employees as possible, which makes sense for the bottom line, but it doesn't always make sense for the mental health and well-being of their employees. So being able to set boundaries between work and life is really important for self-care as well.
Yeah, so what resources are available for people who want to strengthen their self-care or who may need additional support beyond what they can do on their own?
I would say there's lots of resources as far as just searching what self-care is and finding what works for you best. However, we're always here, like therapy, counseling. I'm sure anyone in that field would be really happy to sit down and just brainstorm on what ideas work best for different people's lifestyles.
All right, fantastic. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate the chance to share.
Yeah, well, don't go away because we have more when we return.